Yeah, Steve, I think it's really important to bold, highlight, and underline what he said. We have the Deputy Attorney General of the United States speaking to the American people about how they are standing up a domestic terrorism unit to support their efforts to target those who hold anti-government or anti-authority ideologies. When we stop and think about that for a second, what does that really mean? The authorities in our government, the Biden administration, are targeting Americans for holding anti-authority views. That is authoritarianism. And what does that mean to us here at home? We're supposed to just sit back passively, follow along, put those blinders on, and do whatever they tell us to do? That undermines the heart of our democratic republic. That undermines the essence of our Constitution, which says we have the freedom to challenge our authorities. We have the freedom to stand and protest, to ask questions, to demand accountability and answers. And if we lose that freedom, and this is where they're exposing their anti-liberty, anti-democracy mindset, which is so dangerous, because if we lose that, then we no longer have a democracy.
Totally. And actually, I completely agree with that. And I'd sort of take it further. I think that idea of challenging authority and, if you like, challenging conventional wisdom and what the powers that be, that's so central to America's success on every level, not just as a democracy. You could even put it into the sphere of science and art and industry and common startups. You know, I don't agree with the way they're doing it. I'm going to do things differently. It's part of America. Why do you think that the Democrats have so readily lurched into this authoritarianism?
You know, Steve, I think it comes from fear. Fear of losing this power that they are at least, you know, pretending to hold on to. Fear that people will question the decisions that they're making. Fear that those who challenge their authority are a direct threat to their power. And that is what is so dangerous, because it's coming from a place of fear rather than a place that is rooted in the fabric, in the heart, the essence of the Constitution of the United States of America, the very document that guides us and you know, reminds us who we are and what this country is all about. And when people are motivated by fear of losing power, you see the kinds of results that we're seeing, where they're willing to say or do whatever they feel they need to hold on to it, forgetting about the American people.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's so fantastic that you're speaking out so strongly on it. There's another issue that you've been in the lead on. It's a big issue. I know we don't have too much time, but I just would love your take, because it's very much emerging as a big story, which is the whole situation. You know, it looks like we may be heading towards yet another entanglement in a foreign war with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Look, it's not a straightforward issue. My family's Hungarian. When the Soviets invaded Hungary and the West didn't come in to protect and fight back the Soviet forces, that caused a lot of, you know, left people with years of Soviet oppression. On the other hand, I think, would I be happy for my son to go and fight in Ukraine to protect their freedom? Frankly, no. And so the question I have for you is, how do we balance this? You know, we want to deter aggression, of course, but we don't want to get sucked into these military conflicts. You've got the intelligence services out there putting out all this information, looking like they're kind of wanting to take us into war again. What do we do?
Well, I think this brings us back to the last point, is our leaders should be acting in the best interest of the American people and our country. And unfortunately, in this White House, we have warmongers and people like Jake Sullivan and Tony Blinken, who were had a very strong hand in being the architects of regime change wars in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria, and they're the ones who are influencing the decisions that are being made by this White House. They are stoking tensions. They are escalating the situation that can only lead us down a more dangerous path that directly undermines the interests of the American people in our country. Let's be real about what we're dealing with here, Steve. We're talking about the United States and Russia, two great nuclear-armed powers in the world. There is only one place that conflict ends. That ends in destruction of this world and life as we know it. Don't be naive. Don't be shy about pointing out exactly what is at stake. And that's what the American people need to know. And that's what people in the White House and leaders in Congress from both sides of the aisle refuse to tell them the truth about.